Welcome back to Would You Rather. So this is a new episode where today we'll talk about would you rather drive a car, own a car, or rent a car, or take a public transport. Okay, so a show of hand, who owns car here? Ouch. Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, so owning a car for Clarence and I.
Yes.
How long have you been driving and owning a car?
Since 23, so that's 7 years now.
Oh.
I just revealed my age. I'm 20. No, I'm 29.
I thought you were
6 years. 6 years, sorry, not 7
6 years. Okay, I've been driving for 10 years. So how is owning a car like recently? Expensive?
Very, very expensive.
What's expensive? Okay, I feel the pain there. So generally, petrol prices, I think we all know,
Yes.
them expensive.
Oil prices,
COE.
COE. It comes with everything. Owning a car is never a cheap thing. Yeah,
COE, I think smelling, Jessica says servicing, expensive also. Car spoil.
My insurance service is cheap, is better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So COE, we can smell around 100k?
Yes, now 93 as of February, 93.
93,000. So do you think you'll hit 200k down the road?
There's an article actually that actually says that say that if I'll smack it right here, that you will hit on 200k. And for COE prices, I'll smack another photo here. So let you all see the whole surge of pricing. So you can see, right, it kind of matches the time where it was 2012 to 2014, that range. Pretty high, you haven't hit this high for a while.
So roughly around 10 years ago lah. The last time.
Yeah, correct.
So now it's in a way kissing an all-time high lah.
Oh, yes.
Somewhere there lah.
Yes.
So anyone of you know how COE works? For all this
Me! I know.
This one, the driver.
Yeah, just for y'all, because I went to research a lot to give you all more info. Long story short, it's by bidding. So it's like demand and supply. So every batch, there's a standard of quotas that they will release. But every batch only accept a few. So example, there are 5. I'll just make it right here the number 5. So there's 5, right? And if they only accept 3, if your bidding doesn't hit the top few, you won't get it. Yeah.
A bit like auction lah.
Like auction, yes.
Like auction, so whoever can afford to pay more, they get the COE certificate.
And you can bid either through your car dealer or you can bid yourself. That's quite cool. I didn't know that.
Bid yourself, yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to bid yourself, you bid yourself. Yes, bid yourself. So moving on from drivers ourselves.
Yes.
So of course, car sharing, car leasing, short-term car leasing. So maybe Venus, do you do car rental?
Yeah, I do mostly short-term rentals where it's like a A to B. So I mainly use the platform called BlueSG.
BlueSG?
Yeah, and it's simply said, like I mentioned just now, A to B, and the idea that you don't need to think so much about how much petrol you need to pay, what insurance you need to buy. It's like suddenly like fighting with him. But also the idea that maybe comparing more simply with the idea of a taxi. You just need to compare the prices. Let's say for mine, it costs about 36 cents per minute. It's like a per minute rental lah, excluding the idea that rentals or reservations of the car, reservations of the car or the lots are not included inside. So with that, let's say with the idea of coming from Paya Lebar all the way to maybe central area like Dhoby Ghaut, maybe it takes about 20 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes. So that will be an average of about maybe $8 to $10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so looking at that, like let's say compared to Grab, based on my experience, sometimes there will be surges, right? Or sometimes there will be like ideas that maybe I just can't get a Grab in time. So when there's such a availability and the locations are just nice, right? I'll just take a BlueSG and it will be much more affordable for me in such sense.
So that means during such pricing, like more worth it because they drive themselves.
Is it difficult to get a car?
Okay, it's subject to availability. So let's say example, thankfully for me, I have just one downstairs my house. So they usually revolve.
Downstairs my house.
They usually revolve around.
Downstairs my house.
Downstairs my house. So they usually revolve around the HDB neighborhoods,
Right.
it's like the public car parks, or let's say within the areas of maybe certain shopping malls. Like let's say Plaza Sing is one.
Right.
Lot 1 in Jurong is another one.
Right.
Or sometimes even like certain very random areas. Like I went to somewhere that is actually near Punggol and it's near the container park.
So
somehow I can park there.
Quite a few locations.
Yeah, I mean we are able to actually, if you search a website, right, you actually can opt or suggest the place actually to BlueSG. And who knows if it works out with the, whether it's the government or whether it's with the area, they might be able to build a place there also.
I see. So I think for short-term car rental, there's a lot of players in the industry now. I think there's a lot of competition going. Of course, BlueSG is one of the earlier few.
Yeah.
So they are going.
More popular ones, and now I think got GetGo also.
BlueSG is more towards A to B. So GetGo I think is currently the biggest one in the market right now, and they are the newest also. So they are mainly A to A. So A to A meaning you go already, you park back the same place. So unlike BlueSG where you can book the lot, that one is a dedicated lot already. So you go back to the same one.
I would count that as one of the cons actually. Because I feel that, let's say when I use GetGo once in a while also, but the good thing about GetGo is, let's say when moving to one place to another, let's say I need to fetch my friends, when it comes to such scenarios, it won't be so much of a pinch compared to me using BlueSG. Because I've tried fetching friends home, one of my rides before. Wow, from let's say just now at $8 to $10, right? It can cost me up to $17, $20 just by fetching one or two
So
friends.
GetGo is a fixed price.
No, so GetGo they have a mileage fee, they have the distancing fee. But of course, if you pump petrol for them, because no petrol they will give you vouchers in return also. So I think A to A, the concept is very different from A to B because you have to return the car. But of course, at different timing, the prices are different. So actually, you can get it quite cheap at different timings also. Yeah, so I think it's more towards what do you prefer? Yeah, so correct, the availability also. Because I think different companies has its pros and cons as well. So GetGo, the pricing actually quite cheap at certain timings. Then whereas BlueSG is more towards A to B.
Yes.
Yeah, but the car is smaller.
Yes,
Then
it
you charge
is.
Yeah, very cute. I don't see the BlueSG toy car.
Sure, toy car. Yeah, so that's car rental, short-term car rental. But of course, I think the more common options which a lot of us actually do take part in is I think public transport and Grab. So for these two ladies here, normally how you all travel?
I travel by Grab.
Grab.
Not he will fetch me.
He fetch. Then
So phone number one, want to hire me?
Transport. Personal show.
So Jessica, mixture of Grab and public transport. So how you all are experiencing in terms of Grab? Like for yourself, do you have any coupons or anything that you work with?
I think sometimes, especially when you spend a lot on Grab, right, then they will in return give you a lot of points. So with the points you get to offset the fee. You
So which member are you at now? Which tier?
I'm at Platinum.
What a flex!
That's like our Starbucks gold card leh.
So bright in the morning.
That is way better. Actually, Platinum, yes, right? I'm not sure. But
Yes, yes,
probably
they do.
because of that, I get to get a Grab much faster than those people who are
You have priority
lower.
service actually.
Yeah, in a way.
okay.
And actually, I calculated the amount of money that I spend every month right, for Grab. It's about 400 to 600.
400 to 600.
Yeah, which is why in a way, a lot of people have been asking me, do I want to get a car of my own? Though I mean I can, but I don't want to do it now. Because my priority is not there. Next is I actually can save more money. For you, I think your car itself costs about monthly 1.5, right? Going to 2.
Much more.
Okay, so car expenses,
Yes.
I was just thinking right here. But if you do the average, it's around, depending on what car you buy. If it's a Continental car, around 2 to 2.5 per month for everything.
Because it's a Japanese Korean car.
Yeah, it's just
half
gonna
the
be
price.
cheaper. It's
Yeah,
like 1.5. You include all the things here, like, here.
Yeah, correct. And versus per month that I spend, I'll probably spend about 400 to 600. I really save quite a bit for other things.
I like that's a
in life.
good thing. Is it a good? Oh yeah.
No, but what
I don't know,
about
probably it's a priority thing.
what are the bad things about ride hailing then? Because I'm sure while saving money, there are also cons about it.
Cons about maybe.
Like, because my experience is that sometimes I don't get the car at the right time. And sometimes I'm late to my destination.
Okay, I think-
You know, like some got bad drivers.
Yeah,
Then they
I mean
just.
that one is really
Jessica
just
got
cancel you.
kena bad driver before.
Yeah, they just cancel on you.
Like bad
when they are
drivers.
on the way or you're waiting there.
Then how?
You get
Then get another car bo pian, late liao.
Then roughly
You
how
late
much?
already must.
Then roughly how much you spend per month? A mixture of Grab and public transport. Roughly.
Public transport should be around 100, I think. Around
100.
there.
Then Grab
Then
maybe.
Grab, also 100 to 200 each.
Oh, okay.
It depends how many trips I take. Yeah.
So more conservative in terms of expenses.
Yeah, so you realize that actually from a hybrid of Grab and public to Grab to rental to owning a car, the economic thing
Spending.
it just
Yeah.
Keeps going higher and higher actually.
I think it really depends on the lifestyle that our work requirements, family commitments. I think because some people are watching, you know, you have old folks or even kids that you have to drive
So why
around.
do you buy a car? If it's so expensive.
I buy a car because I have to get around every day. So, firstly, that's one of the reasons, work. And second, I'm a car enthusiast. I love car. I cannot imagine not driving because I really love car. It's a passion of mine. So I can make do without car. Of course, it's not a need. It's more towards a want. But for me, I work very hard for the car.
I think most
so
people buy car is not for the economical reasons. You know, they buy a car is because of status, comfort, convenience, or like safety because they drive. They don't let someone else drive them, so they in control. So maybe car are for like egoistic people. And
you the egoistic people lah. You egoistic lah.
buy a car.
Then for Jessica, you got license or coming soon?
Halfway.
Halfway there.
Halfway.
Halfway there. So she like what Clarence said earlier before the filming, she only can drive half a car. Half a car. Okay, so
One seater.
one
We
seater
managed to
car.
use a leg.
No, I know. She do Flintstone.
There's a one-seater car though. Like, go find a female and put it here.
She do Flintstone. Like she used her leg to drive the car.
No, you know the baby one. Then last time we the toy car.
Yeah, that one. But anyway, to sum it up, I think we have different options here. We have drivers who have been driving for many years, and then we do have the ladies who are taking a mix of public transport, ride-hailing apps, and also short-term rental companies, which are actually getting very competitive, which is good for us, also consumers. So I would say, maybe to sum it up, the mode of transport really heavily depends on our priorities in life as well as lifestyle, I would say, right?
And income.
And also
And income.
income. I think don't get a car on your own expense by sacrificing something. So make sure that it's something you can afford.
Disposable.
It's got to be a need.
Substantial amount.
If it's a one, then make sure that it's a lifestyle that you can support. Lah.
Yeah.
Alright, that's it for today's episode of Would You Rather, talking about the mode of transports in Singapore. So leave it down in the comments below to share with us how do you go about in Singapore. And do remember to like, share and subscribe and see you next episode. Peace!
Peace!